Hey YouTube, did you ever have your rear view mirror fall off? Well, we did, and we got to put it back on just for safety. So you need to get some glue, rear view mirror adhesive glue. Not just any glue. Elmer's doesn't cut it here. You don't want to put hammers and screws through your glass. So you have to get rear view mirror glue, and you can buy it at any auto parts store. Now you have to take the metal piece off that comes out of here that gets glued onto your windshield, and it's tapered so that it will fit in here, so that when it's on there it won't come off. If you put it upside down and you try and slide that on, not too good. So it's tapered. You guys can see that it's tapered so that it goes underneath the lip of the plastic piece for the rear view mirror. So you got to make sure you put it in right. If you look at it real close, you'll have some scratches in like a little circle from the screw that was in there originally that put a mark on the piece of metal. That should be down so that when the mirror goes on, it'll go in that same indentation. Nice and flat on this side. This goes against the glass. So the first thing you need to do is, for any kind of adhesive, is clean your glass. Now I'm just using a wipe to clean my glass real good. You don't have to clean everything, just where you're going to put it. I mean, you can clean everything if you want, but not for the adhesive. And it has to be dry. No wetness on there at all, otherwise the glue won't stick. So got to clean it, and then now we're ready to put the adhesive on. Now, you may have an indentation, or you may know where your old one was because you had to scrape that clean, because we've already scraped our windshield clean with a razor blade. Don't use a scraper, and don't use a screwdriver. It'll scratch your glass. Use a razor blade. It won't scratch the glass. It'll get it nice and clean. If you don't have a razor blade, and if you don't have a razor blade, go buy one. There isn't a substitute for that. Use a razor blade.
What about if you use some like acetone, some alcohol?
I would just use a razor blade. You can use an adhesive remover if you want, that's fine, but the bad thing about adhesive removers is you gotta have gloves on, it smells really bad, it's a toxic. Razor blades aren't too toxic, and you gotta make sure you don't cut yourself.
So what's that, the adhesive?
This is the adhesive. This is the primer. So you got to use the primer and prime the area.
Sometimes you have to read the directions, huh? What are you doing?
Got to read the warnings on the card. So you got to use the primer. You can't touch it once you use the primer.
Why were you reading the warning?
To make sure that I'm not going to be doing something I should be doing on myself. So push down on it.
What are you doing?
I'm putting primer on it.
Oh. Oh, so the primer's in that tube?
Yep. Gonna crack it. It fills it up. Put the primer on.
So you should read the directions because each adhesive is different, right?
Just make sure you follow your directions to make sure you're doing it right. I had to crack the tube. Now the primer's on. I'm gonna put it over here on the glass where I'm gonna put it too.
Is there any certain place you need to put it?
And this will help clean any other debris that's on there that you didn't get off. It'll help clean. Prime it, ready for the adhesive.
If you can't see where it was, how do you line it up?
You want to put it in the middle. You don't want it all the way to the top.
In the
middle.
middle.
You want it in the middle of your windshield.
Okay.
Now if it's off a half an inch here or there, it's not going to hurt anything. If it doesn't bother you, it's not going to bother anybody else.
And what is that?
This is adhesive.
So you just put that all over?
Yep. I don't want to put it on the glass because I don't want to see the adhesive once it's up there. I don't want to overshoot this. So I only want it on the piece of metal and put it all over the piece of metal. So I'm just putting the adhesive on the piece of metal. Do not put it to the glass because you may have some that sticks out of this and you're going to have a hard time getting enough. Especially with the mirror on it. So I just put it on this. And it says to put it up there and apply pressure for 30 seconds. And we have to have the round part on top. So it'll slide this way.
Okay.
And as straight as you can get it.
So when can you apply the mirror?
It says to wait at least 30 minutes. I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer than that.
And how long before you could drive the car?
Well, you can drive it as soon as you put this mirror on.
It doesn't have to adhere for a couple hours or overnight or anything?
It says 30 minutes before you put the mirror on.
And once you put the mirror on, you could drive it?
Yep.
Oh. I thought it would be longer.
It's not moving. Use another wipe. Just don't mess with the mirror or the piece of metal. If I want to get my primer off, so it doesn't take away from anything.
He even cleans up. Look at that, ladies. How many of you are lucky enough to have a man that cleans up and does the laundry?
Just don't disturb the metal. And we wait until the adhesive is bond. Now the directions say 30 minutes, but I'm going to wait a couple hours before I put mine on. I want to make sure it's completely dry. Thanks. Put the mirror on. In case yours falls off. Pretty simple. Just some simple things to keep in mind when you're doing it. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Have a good one. Happy trails.